Hi. So the Biologists at 100 conference has ended successfully. Like the moderator of today's event, I know, as she said, this event is now officially closed. Honestly, it's been an amazing 4 days with the company of biologists in their 100-year anniversary that was celebrated in the form of a conference. It's been amazing. It's been a learning opportunity, a period to meet incredible individuals who are doing excellent science in different fields, an opportunity to connect and also to forge new relationship with individuals and researchers and other labs as well. So I had a very, very nice time, and I feel so fortunate to have been privileged to be one of the delegates who attended this conference. So what happened in day 4? I have a lot of stuff to share with you today, and I hope you will listen carefully. So the final day of the conference actually started with a plenary session, as usual, on emerging technologies. We try to look at technologies that are emerging at the moment, and then after the plenary session, we actually had some other side meetings. There are some other rooms in the conference venue that were used for niche specific conversation. We had people from people who are in the field of experimental biology, and there are those who were in the developmental biology. There are those who are in clinical trials. They all gathered in different rooms, for their conversation, and it was very, very impactful. I went into one of the rooms, even though what was being discussed there does not have anything to do with my current area of interest. I went there because I really wanted to learn. I want to hear how people are doing, science, how science is being presented, and and the kind of questions that are being asked by colleagues as well, because I know that someday I will also be on stage to speak, and people will have to listen to me, and I'll be served questions, and I'll have to give responses to those questions. So it was a nice opportunity for me to learn. And as I said in day 1, I told you that attend to learn, and then don't just feel isolated because what is being presented, it does not have anything to do with your course of discipline or with your or with your area of research. Attend to learn, and you'll get challenged and get motivated by what people were actually doing. Then at the end of the various side meetings, we had the panel session, which was more like the closing ceremony of the event. And to be honest with you, it was a very emotional period for me, because what I saw at that panel conversation was mind-blowing, and I'm going to share that with you. So the panel discussion actually focused on a very big question. It was like a quote that was presented on a large screen for everybody to see, and members of panel, had to make their presentation on those quotes. What is their view, their perspective on the quote, and all of that. So the question now is, what is that quote that was actually presented for conversation? So the quote that was presented for the discussion was a statement made by a great scientist called Sydney Brenner. Sydney Brenner made a statement, and that statement was on the screen for everybody to look at. And what did he say? Sydney Brenner said, "Progress in science depends on new techniques, new discoveries, and new ideas," probably in that order. So the discussion was, do you believe that progress in science depends on new techniques, new discoveries, and new ideas, and probably in that order, that techniques leads to discoveries, and discoveries leads to idea? Do you actually share the same sentiment with Sydney Brenner on that particular proposition? So this was what was being discussed, and a lot of persons share their perspective. Some persons agreed with the statement of Brenner, some persons did not agree with the statement of Brenner. But for me, as an early career researcher, I have a different perspective towards this, because I believe that yes, indeed, progress actually, can emanate from new techniques, new discoveries, and new ideas. But I feel humanity is not involved in this particular statement of Sydney Brenner. I believe that progress in science moving forward would depend on humanity, individuals, career researchers, scientists in different labs, in different regions of the world who have genuinely become intentional about making the world a better place, or even leaving the world a better place than it was when they actually, we are here. That is what I feel progress is going to depend on, because it's not enough for us to just have new techniques, new discoveries, and new ideas. Where would these techniques come from? Where will these new ideas come from? And where will these new discoveries come from? They will not fall from space, but they will come from the genuine, like the ingenuity of mankind, the ingenuity of humanity. Career researchers, scientists, professors, PhD students, postdocs who are genuinely interested in the growth and in the development of mankind or of humanity itself, and who have decided to dedicate a large chunk of their life to doing research just because they want to actually contribute to science, because they want to promote good science, and they want to add, to knowledge, already existing knowledge, or to bring into existence new knowledge and new information that will help us to either address the burdens of disease, or, to be able to do stuff excellently, via tools, via artificial intelligence and all of that. So my sentiment on this proposal, or on this statement by Sydney Brenner, is that humanity, or progress in science, is going to hinge on humanity, and it is from humanity that we are going to have new techniques, new discoveries, and the emergence of new ideas. And the end result of all of this is for us to leave this world a better place. It's for us to make our world a better place. Do excellent discovery in the area of drugs to fight infectious diseases in different settings, and better still, to address the issue of antimicrobial resistance, which is a big challenge that is looming ahead for each and every one of us. So that is just my sentiment on that particular statement by Sydney Brenner. Why this conversation was actually going on in the course of the panel discussion, there was something that I saw that actually caught my mind, and I was seated in the audience, and I was just like, God, this is a very, very nice message that is being passed across unknowingly to the person who was even passing the message across, unknowingly to the organizers who even invited the person on stage. So somebody in the member of the panel who was on stage to share her perspective on this particular statement made by Sydney Brenner actually happened to be a nursing mother, who was up there with I think either 3-month-old baby or something. And during the course of the conference, I've been seeing her around at some places, but this time around, she was right up there on stage. And not just on stage alone as an individual or as a single member of panel, but she was up there on stage with her 3-month or 4-month-old baby. Like, she held the baby to her chest using a carrier, and she was there, ready to speak, ready to be given the microphone to share her thoughts. And right from there in the audience, I saw clearly on stage, the belief or the statement that irrespective of your family involvement, irrespective of you wanting to, to start a family of your own, this should not become an impediment to your career advancement. This lady unapologetically, unashamed, and very happy was up there on stage with her baby on her chest. And when she was given the microphone, man, you need to listen to the breadth of knowledge that this lady was actually dishing out. She was so vast, so intelligent, and so knowledgeable on the subject matter that you won't believe that a nursing mother will actually have such, in-depth of knowledge on the conversation at hand. And that proves that it doesn't matter whether you are a nursing mother. It doesn't matter whether you have a very demanding career, in front of you, and for that you want to push down family or you want to push down giving care to your children or something. This lady was a perfect demonstration of the fact that as a woman, if and only if it is necessary, if need be, please don't allow your family responsibility to impede on the growth and the successful triumph of your career endeavor. You can actually juggle the both together and still be able to do it. So at the end of the event, at the end of the panel discussion, I couldn't hold it, but I have to walk up stage, to go, have a word or like appreciate this lady for what, for the kind of image that she has actually displayed. Like you can imagine, the baby was about crying on stage. She stood up from the seat that was given to member of panel, and she was up there trying, to swing the baby a bit so that the baby could actually stop crying and all of that. And even when she was given the microphone to speak, sometimes the baby will make a sound and she'll feel like, do you want to make contributions to? And everybody, all members of the audience, we are so connected to, all that happened on stage. That, like, I know that I have a wife at the moment and we have a little baby in the house that we are trying to give care to, and it's so demanding because sometimes my wife, will just be confused and wanting to know which way is my career actually going to go to now, as a nursing mother or as a lady who has a baby that needs my attention right now. I saw clearly that whether a nursing mother or not a nursing mother, there is nothing that can stop you from becoming the best that you can be. There is nothing that can stop you from achieving the success that you really want to achieve, if and only if you are willing to make up your mind and to push yourself. It is possible. You can do it. This lady, she did it, and she did it excellently well, not minding actually what actually transpired. But here is the meat of the matter. When I walked up to her on stage and I appreciated her and I told her, ma'am, what happened this evening was a very perfect display of the fact that anything is possible with or without marriage. Everything is possible with or without being a nursing mother or being or not being a nursing mother. And as we were actually conversing, she made a very frantic statement. She told me, yes, what you saw me do today, is not just because I did it alone. It's because I have a strong support system. And that actually changed my perception immediately. Because while it might look so nice on stage that this lady was up there with her baby in her hand and, she did a very nice presentation, it came as a result of a very strong support system. So if you have a wife who is actually nursing a baby at the moment and she's very concerned about career growth and career advancement, give her the support. Family members, give this lady the support. Colleagues in the office, colleagues in the research lab, give this colleague of yours the support so that she can actually excel and shine. So the lady made me to understand that what I saw on stage was not just a solo effort. It was the combined effort of incredible individuals who were genuinely interested in her growth, and they gave her the support that she needed in order for her to see thrive, despite the fact that she is a nursing mother at the moment. So what lesson did I learn from that? I learned that as a man who has a wife and who has a young baby in the house at the moment, it is my job to give enough support, enough encouragement, because more often than not, it can be so overwhelming and so draining. As a man, you might be traveling, for conferences here and there and leaving all the responsibilities for your wife at home. Please, when you get back and when you have the time, make out quality time, spend quality time with your family, and make sure that, childbearing does not become a reason for your wife to actually pull down on her career advancement. And not just for your wife. Perhaps their sisters, their colleagues in offices, you need to also give them support. You need to give them, that help to make them understand that having a baby should not be a reason for you to actually to pull out of your career pursuit or something. Strong support system is very, very important. Let us be human. Let us actually support each other, because it is through this genuine support, this collaborative support for one another, that we'll be able to bring new techniques, be able to make new discoveries, and new ideas will come into existence to make the world a better place. So you can see I had a very nice time at the Biologists at 100 conference. But before, the event was brought to an end officially, right? There was a very big question that was actually presented. And that question was, what would science look like in the next 100 years from now? What will science look like in the next 100 years from now? The company of Biologists, is celebrating her 100 years of existence as an organization. They started since 1925, and 2025 makes them 100 years. The question is, what will science look like in the next 2125 years from now? Where will you be? Perhaps I may no longer be on earth by that time, but what will science look like? What contribution would I have made, to make science better off today than it was then? If you look at the time of Edward Jenner, Louis Pasteur, Fleming, and all of that, science today was not the way it was in their own time. And that was because some individuals were genuinely interested in being inquisitive, in answering questions and looking for solutions to situations around them. And they made the world a better place for us to enjoy today. Of course, we may not have the best of the best, but I feel we are actually advancing. There is growth. There is a significant difference in the health status, in health delivery system, or in the way we do science today compared to how science was done 100 years ago. And the question that we were actually asked to go home with was, what will science look like in the next 100 years? In the next 100 years, when you may no longer be on Earth, how would the ecosystem of scientific research and scientific discovery look like? What contribution would you have made, to make science better off then than it was now, or than it is now? So I felt, so challenged and so motivated that I have to do something. Some individuals took a chance on science, took a chance on themselves, risked their own life, risked, research endeavor, and they made science what it is for us today. What will I do? What will be my own unique addition? What will be my own added value to the field of science when I'm no more? What will be the issue of antimicrobial resistance when I'm no more? Will we have an environment that is safe and free of bacteria-resistant infection? I have to do something. I have something to do, and I have a role to play. And I feel you also have your role to play as well. And when we continue to play these roles together, of course, we'll leave the world a better place. So I had an excellent time at the Biologists at 100 conference, and it was a very, very nice conference. 4 days of impactful conversations, start from 9 o'clock to 5 in the evening, learning from experimental biologists, developmental biologists, learning from clinicians, PhD students, postdoc, like professors from different areas of endeavor, taking the stage to share their work, and also exposing us to opportunities that are bound, if and only if you connect with the company of Biologists. Quite a lot of things, and I'm leaving this conference far better off than I was when I came. And I want to say thank you so much to everyone who made my stay at the conference a huge success. And kudos to Sarah Jane Walsh, who actually motivated me indirectly, in her first presentation at the conference, that I should be able to tell my story. So this is my own story as per the kind of experience I had at the Biologists at 100 conference, and I feel you must have learned something as well. So don't be ashamed to tell your story. It doesn't have to be a CNN or BBC kind of story before it makes impact. It could be something little as this, and I feel you must have been motivated, you must have been challenged in a way for you to go out and promote science, do science, think add humanity to the research work that you are doing, because it is humanity that will bring new techniques, new discoveries, and new ideas to make our world a better place. Peace.